Hey, Joe Gill here. I want to talk to you about my first night in Leningrad. First night there, it was kind of late. We weren't going to go out, but we were staying at this guy's house for the first few days, and then we got a hotel, and his name was Evgeny, and we were just decided late night. I said, yeah, go on and tell me, because he's been crowing about Russian women, you know, for the longest time. So we end up going to a restaurant. Basically, that's where you go to meet women, which is to set up like a prom and a wedding reception. Anyway, we go there, and Steve immediately goes up to these 5 girls sitting at the table, and they were all deaf, like they couldn't hear, period. And we ended up calling them the 5 Helen Kellers because we never got their name and we never really could understand them, which was a trip. So Steve goes up there and sits down, and he's just insistent he's not going to leave. And I go, come on, Steve, they're deaf. And I was, questioning. I go, is it right to do this? Is it not right? And I go, well, wait, so what? Just because they're deaf, they don't deserve to feel, get picked up on, or have sexual feelings and all that or whatever. So I eventually go and I sit down with them. The thing is that there was 5 of them, and Steve immediately went to the most attractive one, a real cute blonde, and they were all probably about my age at the time, about 19 years old. So then there was the other 3, and they were sitting at a round table. So Steve got there was 2 open chairs. So Steve got the chair right next to the blonde. Then the other 3 were sitting around. They were sort of average. Then the only open chair was next to the one that I thought was kind of homely, not really attractive. I didn't sit down, but I eventually sat down. I was half-heartedly trying to communicate with the way I did it was pointing out words in the dictionary. But she sort of let me know that she kind of wanted to sleep with me. She kind of goes, you, me, sleep together. And see, that's the thing. One of the reasons why we really can communicate, there's just 2 ways that usually deaf people communicate. It's either by sign language, like you, me, tonight. That means fuck in American Sign Language. So if you ever come across a deaf girl and she goes like you, me, that means to fuck. So that's the only American. But and any sign language is going to be Russian, so it's like literally impossible to communicate with. So it's getting late, so we decided to leave. Evgeny is gone. We have no idea where he went. He's insistent on taking all 5 of these girls home. We have a little Ford Fiesta car, and with me, Evgeny, these 5 girls, it's like 8 people. I go, how are we going to get him home? How are you going to do this? He says, oh, I don't care. He didn't care. We ended up cramming, and like several people had to sit on several people's laps. I was actually driving. So we finally find Evgeny. We go outside. The one unattractive, she's clinging on to me. She's got me like by my arm. She's got me by my arm, and she's like, hugging my arm and all that stuff. So anyway, we're standing. Evgeny comes up with 2 other girls that he found that kind of look like working girls. So Steve's saying, what the hell are you doing? We're taking home all 5 of these girls. And so they're arguing back and forth, and I'm standing off. I'm taking a step away, and I'm just observing this whole thing, and I'm just kind of laughing. I'm having like an epiphany, or like, I go, this is unbelievable. And I'm being 19, this is all new to me. I mean, I was totally fresh to, you're new to women, you're just learning and all that stuff. And I only had like 2 girlfriends at the time. And before this trip, I hadn't had sex. But anyway, so I'm just thinking, wow, I can't believe we're out here arguing over, taking home whether those 2 or whatever. And I tried to butt in and say, hey, Steve, let's rethink this, because the 2 girls that he had saying all we need is 2, And the 2 girls he had that Evgeny got were pretty hot. They were kind of hot, decent looking, hot looking brunettes. In the meantime, the one deaf girl, the Helen Keller that I had, she's hugging onto me, and she's pointing and going, no, please, no. And I said, I'm like, relax, don't worry. And I'm just telling her like to calm down and all that stuff. And, you know, I'm telling her not to worry. Anyway, so the other part of me, I was thinking back when I've told the story, I look back on it and I said, you know what? We ought to just take all 7 girls back and just have one big orgy. You know, that's what I was sort of thinking. So anyway, we get them back. We decide the sleeping arrangements. 2 were going to go with my friend Steve. He wanted the blonde. 2 went with Evgeny, and I got stuck. And I said, all right, whatever, I'll take one for the team. So we get in there, going to put them in, and we were totally oblivious. Even Steve was a little, we didn't think these girls were going to charge. But when I went in there, she wrote down on a piece of paper $200 and pointed. And I said, no. I said, no. I go 0, and I wrote 0. And I was like shocked. I was like, I can't believe this. Then she wrote 100, and then I wrote, and I said, no, absolutely not. Then she wrote 10, and then I'm like, oh man. Then I really started thinking. I started realizing the situation. I go, well, you know, she's disabled. She probably doesn't, you know, probably can't really have a job and and all that. I started thinking all of that stuff. She's probably on government assistance, and I thought, okay, of course, I should have known this. Of course, they might ask for a little something. Anyway, I felt bad, so I just said, okay, fine, I'll pay $10. Then she stops me. I get up to go get the money, and she writes 20. So I tried to tell her no. I turn off the light, and I said, forget it. I figured she's just going to keep going up. I'm going to be up all night. I was late. I just wanted to go to sleep. She's preventing me from going to sleep. She's turning on the light, and she's going, please, 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 and she's pointing. She's going, please, pointing to the $20 and saying, 20, that's it, 20. I'm not going to raise it. Trust me. So I figured, all right, fuck it. So I went and got a $20 bill, paid her, and had sex, and then that was it. You know, went to sleep. Next morning they came in. I was still in bed. They were all saying goodbye. Steve got him a cab and went away, and then we compared notes. Now apparently Steve, just to give you a brief what happened with him, he did hook up. He did sleep with that cute blonde, but he mentioned he had the opposite trouble that I had. I was, you know, couldn't get her to, was having trouble beating her off with a stick. He kept trying to put the make on her and put the moves, and she kept pushing him away and saying no and all this and da-da-da-da-da. But eventually she gave in, and he paid her. He ended up paying her, I guess, more than what I did. And, you know, that was that. So I don't know. That was kind of a trip. That was kind of an interesting first night. But anyway, like I said, stay tuned for more. And I will, till the next time. Talk to you later.